Our intentions may be good, admirable, well-intentioned, but they could be very wrong and do more harm than good. This is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, Day 2 of Yitro. Let's continue in Exodus, or Shemot, chapter number 18. And let's go down now to verse 15. It says, "And it came to be on the next day that Moshe sat to rightly rule the people, and the people stood before Moshe from morning until evening. When the father-in-law of Moshe saw all that he did for the people, he said, 'What is this that you're doing for the people? Why do you sit by yourself and all the people stand before you from morning until evening?' Moshe said to his father-in-law, 'Because the people come to seek me, or come to me to seek Elohim, When they have a matter, they come to me, and I rightly rule between one another and make known the laws of Elohim and his Torah.' The father-in-law of Moshe said to him, 'What you are doing, it's well-intentioned, it's good, it's admirable, but it's wrong.'" I know that Moshe really appreciated his father-in-law looking at him and said, "You're messing up, son. You're not doing this right." Years and years ago, when our daughters were younger, preteens probably at this point, we were driving home from Sunday night service and headed back home, and my oldest daughter, Amber, piped up from the back seat and said, "Dad, did you have to drone on and on tonight?" That's still cause of a laugh this many years later. And my wife, on occasion, Laura, will say, "Honey, did you have to drone on and on today?" Moshe droned on and on. He morning to evening. That's very long-winded, and he was tired, and the people were worn out, and it was an ineffective means of trying to do the right thing. Now, Moshe had been raised in a political environment where people were accustomed to being organized and administrated, and folks delegated authorities to go and to handle certain things. So he knew how to run affairs most effectively. He had this background and training there. But it would seem that he really maybe didn't trust anyone else to do what it is that he was trying to do. So we have this continuing issue now in the body of Messiah, especially in the ranks of Hebraic roots focus, in that there has been a generation that has been studying, leading, and teaching the Torah for years. In my case, over 20 years. And I have led a congregation for well over 20 years with Hebraic focus. And I remember initially when we first started House of David, I opened up, I lit the menorah, I blew the shofars, I led the singing, I did all the teaching, I led all the praying. And it was because I knew how to do it. You know, I had served as pastor, and I had studied and prepared and developed, and I had the equipment and I had the know-how. What I did was not good. It was the wrong way. Now, it was well-intentioned. It was admirable, appreciated. A lot of people applauded and pat me on the back. Good job. Appreciate what you're doing, yada, yada. But Yah corrected me. Son, you're not doing it right. You need to push other people up. You need to hand off. It's good that you can do, but there are others that can also do. And the thing is that when you hand something off and you delegate it to someone else, the rule of thumb is this. You encourage someone to do something. You show them how to do it. You do it with them. You let them do it. So there is this phasing where it's not you just walk up and hand someone a heavy load and say, "Take it, go with it. I'm tired of it." That's an improper handoff. You encourage someone. You see where Yah is going to lead them. You show them how things ought to be done. You do it with them, and then you let them do it. But it is in that transition that changes inevitably will be made. They will do things differently than what you do or have chosen to do. But a different methodology or a different slant or different means is not necessarily wrong. As a matter of fact, it's most likely an improvement. We have this issue where then we have elders that have experience and they have the abilities and they have the histories, and they're getting tired, and it's necessary for others to be, and the word is not taking on a lot of negative connotations, the word of groomed, but prepared, trained, mentored, established, younger folks, other folks to come alongside. And it's hard. I'll make a confession. It's hard for me to hand things off when I think, it's just easier for me to go ahead and just do it myself. I got this. And my wife is encouraging me on a consistent basis. You need to hand this off. You need to hand that off. You got enough on your plate. You can do more by letting someone else take over and be used in some areas. And I do find that when I hand things off, it gets done better than what I would have done it myself. And it's not just the quality of what's done, it's the fact that people step into roles and people are given opportunities to function and to serve. You never know what quality or what capabilities someone has until you give them a chance. And so Yitro is advising here, you need to set up rulers of tens. This is minions. A minion is the basic foundation of any congregation, and that's 10 people, traditionally 10 men, who know how to pray together and to function together. And they would be overseen in the ranks of Judaism by a shamash, a rabbi, an under shepherd. And then he says, how about groups of 50s? And the Hebrew here is shotarim, or overseers. And then there are those who the shilakim, these are the rulers of hundreds, what we would call emissaries, or most traditionally we say apostles. And then there are those leaders of thousands, which makes up what's called the Bet Din, or the house of judgment. In Judaism, it's called the Sanhedrin. So in Yeshua's time, the Pharisaical system was that they had the Pharisees and Sadducees, the priestly members, and they formed the Sanhedrin, and those of Judah, then they were answerable to the ruling and decrees, even to the judgment of the Sanhedrin. After Yeshua cursed the fig tree, another teaching sometime, and he replaced the standing fig tree, the Sanhedrin, with those who were of his followers. He established a Bet Din that would eventually be headed by Yaakov, his brother. And this is the Council of Jerusalem that we see in Acts 15. It's functioning as a ruling body. Shimon Kepha, Simon Peter, Rabbi Shaul and Barnabas, they all presented themselves to this standing court, rulers of thousands, for their opinion, for their judgment, for their decrees, for their guidance, and were subservient to that. Which then leads us to our final thought for the day, and that is that there are some, I won't say so many, there are some who say we don't need any of that. We don't need anyone to tell us what to do. But the reality is, without checks and balances, without some governing style body of some sort, without a biblical model of those who have the authority to set things in order and to deal with things that are out of order, to establish properly, to give guidance and correct doctrine, people seem to run amok. None of us are able to stand on our own, do all things by ourselves, because we will be worn out and we will grow tired and we will become frustrated. We need each other. And I need to see you again tomorrow. To then, shalom.